Hey there, this is the Top Floor Please podcast, where women in leadership rise together. I'm your host, Melissa McCormick, executive coach and founder of the Grace and Salt Leadership Academy. This is your space to find clarity, grow in confidence, and lead with bold authenticity. Whether you're navigating the boardroom, building your team, or stepping into new territory, you're not alone. Let's talk real challenges, real growth, and real leadership, because the top floor isn't just a place, it's a mindset. All right, let's get started.
All right. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast Top Floor, Please. I am really excited about this episode. So, we're going to be talking a bit about red flags and that well, here's the story. I had a client of mine who asked me, what are those things that when a person in leadership is observing you or thinking about you, what are those things that are red flags for them with regards to they may go, oh, she's not quite leadership material. Like, what are those things? So I thought about that. So I put a whole program together for that session. But then I thought, you know what? I need to share that with people because it's really important. One of the values that I bring to, or that I want to share and bring to the world is, how do the bosses think? Like, what is it that they're thinking? And so if I can help you get a little bit of insight into what they're thinking, then that will help you understand how to perform, how to behave, and just basically how they're thinking. So anyway, for those of you who don't know me, I am Melissa McCormick. I am the host of Top Floor Please podcast and the owner of Grace and Salt Leadership Academy. And we are going to dig into those red flags, right? Those quiet signals that might be making your boss or your leadership kind of pause when it comes to promoting certain people or promoting you. Okay, so I just have 5 today. We're just going to talk through this fairly quickly. I may go through. We'll see what the future brings on whether, if this is popular and people really want to know more about this, then I will add more because I have actually quite a list. So the first one is your 2 heads down. Well, what does that mean? That means that you are busy doing all the things, like you are working your tail off. You are managing this, you're making sure that emails are answered, you're making sure that your boss is, like, you're handling all of their things. If you are the go-to person, not only for your boss, but for everybody in the office. Like, you've been around for a while, you know exactly how to direct people here and there. And so you're busy doing all the things. In fact, you're so busy doing all the things that you are not being seen as a strategic thinker. You are seen as the go-to person. You are seen as the person who's going to get things done. You are the person that is seen as, yeah, if I've got a question, I'm going to go to her. That's absolutely you. And so you may be thinking, well, so what's wrong with that? Yeah, you're right. So what's wrong with that? Well, that was part of my story. If you've heard my story before, you know that I was busy doing all the things and I was hanging out in middle management, waiting for somebody to tap me on the shoulder to say, Melissa, you are so amazing that we want to promote you. Well, that doesn't happen because I was seen as the go-to person. I was seen as just managing things. Like, my boss was super comfortable with taking off and knowing that I was going to be able to handle whatever challenge came my way. But because of that, I wasn't seen as a strategic thinker. So I want you to be thinking about, where are you at in your day to day? Like, are you too busy in the weeds that you're not able to, it's not that you're not able to do it, but you're not seen, as a higher level thinker, as a strategic thinker. So number 1 is your 2 heads down. You're doing a fantastic job getting all the things done, but you're not able to, or you don't take the time. It's all about prioritization, but you don't take the time to step back and say, okay, where are we going? Where should we be going? What's the path to get there? Okay, so number 1, you're 2 heads down. Number 2, you wait for permission. I just mentioned that. That was kind of my story. I was waiting for somebody to say, Melissa, you are such a hard worker that we want to promote you. You're waiting for permission. Leaders take initiative. So if you're waiting to be told what to do, it can signal hesitation or lack of ownership. Maybe you're not comfortable with taking charge. Maybe you're not comfortable with saying, you know what, I really think this is the direction we should go. And so you don't say anything because after all, you're respecting your boss's or a boss, doesn't have to be your direct boss, but a boss, you're respecting that position. And so you're feeling like, look, they're going to ask my opinion when they want my opinion. So until then, I'm not going to say anything. No. Mm-mm. If you have an opinion, if you believe that you could add extra value to the organization and you could, there's a different way of doing things or a way to streamline systems or there's a different market that you should be going after, find a way to reach out to whoever is responsible for that role or for that decision and just bring it up. Just talk to them. Let them know, hey, I'm thinking about this because I love this organization. I want us to succeed. It's part of who I am. And I want to be sure that other people know that I'm thinking about it, that I'm not just a doer. Like I really am a leader here in this organization. So number one, you're two heads down. Number two, you wait for permission. Number three is avoiding conflict. Okay, that's a good one. If you're afraid to speak up or navigate tough conversations, it does raise concerns about how you'll handle real leadership challenges. So don't try not to get the reputation, or actually, I'm going to be stronger in that. I'm going to say, don't get the reputation that you don't like conflict. Honestly, nobody really likes conflict. Like there's a very small percentage of people that I've experienced that like conflict, right? They may think it's a game, they may, whether it's negotiation or things like that, but most people don't like conflict. That doesn't mean they don't know how to handle it. So if you're the kind of person, man or woman, who 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 really wants, when the conflict arises, they really want somebody else to handle it because I just really don't want to deal with it. I don't want you to do that. I want you to learn how to handle conflict, because what happens in the boardroom is when your name comes up for a promotion, they're going to go, oh, I don't know, she's really nice. I don't know if she's leadership material. I don't know if she were in a room with a high level executive, that she would be able to state her opinion or address the elephant in the room, even if it is, a member or a conflict that might drive conflict, or that might result in conflict. I just don't know. You do not want that reputation. So I'm not saying you go find conflict, but I am saying don't shy away from it. And we can talk about conflict in a whole, I can put that in a whole series of podcasts on how to handle it so that it's authentic to you, because that's really how you manage conflict. That's how people get comfortable with conflict, when they handle it in their own authentic way, no matter if you love it or you hate it. Okay, so that's number three. Number four is you don't develop others. Okay, leadership is about building others up, right? Not tearing them down. It's about building others up. And if you're not mentoring, coaching, or supporting your team or the people that you work with, it shows that you're just not yet thinking like a leader, right? We want to be sure that we're lifting others up in the organization. So if there are newbies that are coming into the organization, who is it that you should take a look at and go, you know what, if they're willing, right? Mentorship, I believe mentorship should be organic. I do believe that let me put it this way. It's kind of both, right? You need to have it formal, like intentional, not formal. You need to have it intentional, but it needs to be organic. So mentorship, finding the right mentor, finding the right coach. I always say coach is like picking out a purse. It's very personal. And so that's the same way that you identify a mentor or mentee, or somebody that you want to coach, or somebody that you want to coach you, is you have to get along, and you have to have aligned values, but also somebody that you trust, somebody that you can that you're okay with challenging you. Like that's super, super important. So I want you to take a look at who is it that you're developing in your company? Who is it? And who could you be? Like, who is it that you connect with just on a natural basis? You're in a meeting, you're on a Zoom call, whatever that might look like, and they're relatively new to the organization. You're like, okay, I could really help them. Reach out to them, tell them, hey, would you like me to mentor you? Could be how formal or informal you want it to be, but taking that extra time out of your day to develop others, people see that. Leadership sees that. That's important. Okay, number 5, you don't know your leadership voice. What does that mean? So this one's big. If you don't communicate with clarity and presence, you might not be seen as ready. Right? It shows. It just, you could be ready, like you're ready, but your external presence is not ready, or it doesn't appear that you are ready if you're not showing up as if you already are the leader and have the position that you're already striving to be. Does that make sense? I want to be sure that you're focusing on your words. I want to be sure that you're focusing on your style. I want to be sure that you're focusing on how you carry yourself. Now, we've gone through some other podcasts where I've talked about presence and executive presence and what that looks like and how to show up. So if you haven't heard those, go back and listen to them, or if you heard them before, just go back and listen again, because it is really important on how you show up and communicating clearly, concisely, limiting your words, knowing who you're speaking to is very, very important. So knowing your leadership voice, showing up and speaking clearly, concisely, that is very, very important. So 5, I just went through 5. So first one is you're 2 heads down. Like, you're too busy doing all the things that you can't step back and look at things strategically. I know you can, but are you? 2, you wait for permission. Okay. You're waiting for the boss to tell you this is the direction you should go, instead of knowing that's the direction I should go. That's the direction that my role should go. I'm going to do that. Communicate with your boss, let them know, but also so that to be sure that you're aligned. I'm not saying go rogue I'm not saying that at all. Please do not go rogue. But I do want you to be thinking strategically so that you're stepping back and going, okay, where are we going? Why are we going this direction? What is the direction we should be going? How does that fit into the bigger picture? Okay. So number 3 is avoiding conflict, right? Get into don't go looking for conflict, right? Don't make the conflict. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Don't make the conflict, but don't shy away from it. Even if it's not your favorite thing to do, don't shy away from it. Develop others. This is very important. Find somebody to mentor, take the extra time to develop others in the organization. And pretty soon you will be surprised at how the perception of you changes. Then it's more about everybody else and it's less about you. That is very important for a leadership perspective. And then knowing your voice, being able to speak with executive presence, being able to speak clear, and with clarity and presence is extremely important. Okay, so those are the top 5. I do have more. So again, if I see that people are downloading this one, they're sharing it, they're liking it, then I will add future podcasts. I will add more red flags, but those are the top 5 right now. So here's your Grace and Salt moment, your coaching moment. I want you to be ready for leadership. Right? Okay, so being ready for leadership isn't just about potential. It's about perception. And those are the things that we talked about. It's about perception. And you absolutely can shift that. Okay, so if this is, if it hit home at all, I want you to share it. I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I want you to download it on Spotify and wherever else that I have this podcast at this time. And if you want help turning those red flags into green lights, then come join us at the Esther Project. You can find out more information at esther.graceandsaltleadership.com, or you can go straight to my website, which is graceandsaltleadership.com. If you're ready for your next level of your leadership, then check out the Grace and Salt Leadership Academy. That's our signature program, is the Esther Project, where it's designed to help women find their voice, speak up with confidence, and make a bold impact. So whether you're just stepping into leadership or stepping into the boardroom, there's a place for you here. Okay, so head over to graceandsaltleadership.com to learn more and apply. I cannot wait to meet you and to hear how this podcast resonated with you. All right, everyone. Thanks so much, and you have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thanks for hanging out on the top floor. If today's episode gave you something to think about or a little boost, share it with your friend and keep the momentum going. And hey, if you're ready to find your voice and lead with clarity and confidence, check out the Esther Project. It's our foundational program at Grace and Salt, and it's built for women like you who are ready to rise. You can learn more at graceandsaltleadership.com. I'll drop the link in the show notes, and remember, you don't have to lead like everyone else, just lead like you. All right, I'll see you next time.